Clash of cultures. The sprawling Zilithian space station hung silently amidst the stars, a gleaming testament to the aliens' mastery of technology. Stepping out of his battered transport ship, Jace Collins couldn't help but feel out of place. As the first human mechanic to contract with the Zilithians, he knew he was an oddity. His coveralls and scuffed toolbox seemed Neolithic compared to the sleek, autonomous repair drones zipping through the polished corridors. Jace was greeted by the lead Zilithian engineer, Zorax. The alien's trinocular eyes narrowed as he scanned Jace's gear. Primitive tools for a primitive species, Zorax clicked in heavily accented English. I fail to see what you hope to accomplish here. Fighting down his indignation, Jace responded evenly. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. My grandfather's wrench has never failed me. Zorax made a chirping noise that might have been laughter. We shall see, human. We shall see. A baffling malfunction. The station's prized experimental starship, the Zilithian Hope, stood dormant in the docking bay. Its revolutionary quantum drive was supposed to usher in a new era of intergalactic travel, but now it was as lifeless as a stone. It should be impossible, Zorax fretted, his head crest flaring with agitation. The diagnostics show all systems are optimal, yet the power grid remains unresponsive. This defies logic. Jace watched as the Zilithian repair drones swarmed over the vessel, scanning and probing to no avail. Each failure seemed to deepen Zorax's distress. May I? Jace gestured to the silent ship. Zorax hesitated, his pride warring with his desperation. At last, he stepped aside. Be my guest, human, but do not expect much. Jace's ingenious solution. Jace approached the Zilithian Hope, his eyes roving over its sleek lines. He placed a hand on its hull, as if trying to feel the ship's pulse. Talk to me, girl, he murmured. What's troubling you? Trusting his instincts, Jace began a methodical check of the ship's systems. His old tools, so scorned by the Zilithians, moved with practiced precision. It was near the quantum drive that he found it, a hairline fracture in a power coupling, likely caused by a recent cosmic storm. It was the kind of flaw no scanner would think to seek, but Jace knew all machines had their quirks. Using a cobbled-together patch from a broken human comms unit, Jace bridged the gap. As he finished, the ship shuddered to life around him, its lights flickering on and engines humming. Zorax and his team stared in disbelief as Jace emerged, wiping his hands on a rag. Just a loose connection, Jace said with a half-smile. Nothing a little elbow grease couldn't fix. Wisdom of simplicity. In the wake of the repair, Zorax found Jace in the station's observation deck, gazing out at the stars. I must admit, I did not expect such a result, the Zilithian said, his tone now tinged with respect. Your methods are unorthodox. I would understand them better. Jace looked at Zorax, considering his words. High-tech solutions are great, but sometimes they can blind you to the basics. My dad always said, the simplest answer is often the right one. You can't always rely on computers to do your thinking for you. Zorax tilted his head, absorbing this perspective. The Zilithian way is to put our faith in technology. But today, it was no match for your skill and intuition. Perhaps there is wisdom in simplicity. Bridging the divide. From that day forward, Jace found his standing on the station much changed. Zorax brought him in as a consultant on their most puzzling mechanical issues, and the other Zilithians began to see value in the human approach. Some even started tinkering with human tools in their off hours, finding joy in the tangible connection to their work. As his contract drew to a close, Zorax made Jace an offer. Stay with us, the alien said. Teach us to see as you do. Let us learn from each other. Looking around at the Zilithians, no longer cold and dismissive, but now eager and curious, Jace saw the potential for a new era of collaboration. I'd be honored, he said, clasping Zorax's appendage. Let's see what we can build together. And as the station continued its voyage through the stars, it carried with it a new understanding that the greatest strengths arise not from the tools, but from the ingenuity and spirit of those who wield them. Jace's success had forged a bridge between worlds and shown that, in the vastness of space, there was always room to learn and grow. The mechanic and the aliens had found in each other an unlikely but powerful alliance, a testament to the resilience and adaptability that are the hallmarks of the human spirit. Together, they would face the challenges of the cosmos, one loose bolt at a time. A new challenge. Months turned into years, and Jace became an integral part of the Zilithian engineering team. His unique perspective and unconventional methods had earned him respect and admiration from his alien colleagues. One day, an urgent distress call came from a nearby planet. A Zilithian colony had been struck by a devastating earthquake, and their power grid had collapsed. Without energy to power their shields, the colonists were vulnerable to the planet's harsh radiation storms. Zorax turned to Jace, his eyes filled with worry. "This is beyond anything we've faced before. The colony's technology is far more complex than a starship. I fear even our best minds may not be able to solve this in time." Jace felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He knew the stakes were high. Thousands of lives hung in the balance. "Then we'd better get started," he said, reaching for his toolbox. Race against time. The engineering team arrived on the planet to find a scene of chaos. Buildings had crumbled, and the once thriving colony was now a desperate shell of itself. Jace and Zorax made their way to the central power facility, dodging falling debris and cries for help. Inside, they found a tangled mess of alien technology, pulsing with unstable energy. "We have to stabilize the reactor core," Zorax said, his voice strained. "But the system is too far gone. We'd need to rebuild half the components, and there's no time." Jace surveyed the damage, his mind racing. Then his eyes fell on a pile of scrap in the corner, broken parts from old human machines discarded by the colonists. An idea began to form. It was risky, even crazy, but it might just work. "I have a plan," Jace said, turning to Zorax. "But you're going to have to trust me." Improvisation and innovation. Under Jace's guidance, the team began a frantic effort to jury-rig a solution. They cannibalized parts from the human scrap, repurposing them to patch the gaps in the alien system. It was a delicate balance. The human tech wasn't meant to interface with Zilithian equipment. But Jace's intuition guided them, showing how to adapt and improvise. Hours turned into days, and the team worked without rest. Zorax marveled at Jace's stamina and focus, his dedication to the task at hand. Finally, as the last piece slotted into place, the reactor thrummed back to life. Cheers erupted from the exhausted engineers as power surged back through the colony's grid. Against all odds, they had done it. The colony was saved, a lasting legacy. In the aftermath of the crisis, Jace and Zorax stood amidst the rebuilding efforts. The colonists, once wary of the human presence, now looked upon Jace with gratitude and awe. "I never thought I'd see the day," Zorax mused, "when Zilithian and human technology would work side by side. You've shown us a new path, Jace." Jace smiled, but his expression was thoughtful. "It's not about human or Zilithian," he said. "It's about finding the best solution, no matter where it comes from. We're stronger together than we ever could be apart." As the colony began to thrive once more, Jace knew his work here was done, but his impact would live on. In the hybridized systems that now powered the planet, in the new generation of Zilithian engineers who embraced unorthodox thinking, and in the spirit of unity that had taken root between two once distant peoples. Jace's journey had started with a simple repair job, but it had become so much more, a testament to the power of an open mind, a brave heart, and a belief in the potential of all life, no matter how different. In bridging the gap between worlds, Jace had not only saved a colony, he had helped to build a brighter future for all. And as he looked out at the stars, he knew that this was only the beginning. There were countless more adventures waiting, more challenges to overcome, and more bonds to forge. For a mechanic and his trusty toolbox, the universe was full of possibilities.